up on OU Nightly, a student from Venezuela talks about their recent election, the latest on the conflict between Israel and Gaza, and Black Friday is quickly approaching. What does that mean for small businesses? Stay tuned for this and more tonight on OU Nightly. Good evening and welcome to OU Nightly. I'm Amy Slanchik.
And I'm Kelsey Hightower. With the recent re-election of Hugo Chavez, many Venezuelans are left with questions. Amidst the controversy, a political analyst spoke to students on campus today to offer some answers. Pablo Kinney spent 4 months in Venezuela this year doing political research, including analysis of Chavez's most recent re-election. This 6-year term will bring his reign of power to a total of 20 years by 2018.
In Venezuela, at this point, everything runs through Hugo Chavez. The court is appointed by him. The legislature is dominated by his people. He can do close to whatever he wants.
He feels that having a president for too many years is always a risk, but says there is hope for change in Venezuela.
Joining us now is OU Nightly's Anna Rashusta, an international student from Venezuela who attended today's lecture. Anna, what are your thoughts today after the re-election?
Well, actually, this re-election is very complex, and too many people it's hard time understanding this situation. Well, actually, this re-election is very concerning for Venezuelans because since I was 6 years old, this president has been in the power. So it's going to be 20 years in 2019. And this is it's been very hard for the new generation who is growing with this ideology of socialism.
Okay, and so in America, we focus a lot of media attention on our candidates. Can you talk a little bit about the media coverage with the candidates in Venezuela?
Well, yeah, Chavez has almost all the power over the media in Venezuela, so which means that he can be in national broadcast anytime he wants. He has the power over TV and radio stations and some newspapers. So this is very concerning because as a journalist, we cannot express our ideas freely because we are in risk or being punished by the government.
Thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank
Anna.
you.
From politics in Venezuela to the danger in the Middle East, OU Nightly's Jessica Wilder joins us now in the News Center with the latest on the conflict in Gaza. Jessica?
Thanks, Amy. Israel will intensify its attacks on the Gaza Strip in what may be the last burst of a ceasefire, ending its week-long offensive in the Palestinian territory. Heavy bursts of fire from tanks in southern Israel and gunboats outside Gaza coast could be heard today. The target isn't immediately known and no casualties were reported. Israel launched its offensive to halt fire today. More than 130 Palestinians, including dozens of civilians, have been killed in fighting. 4 Israelis have been killed. And President Barack Obama spoke with Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi for the 3rd time today as he seeks to end this warfare between Israel and Hamas. He wanted to speak with Morsi before Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's arrival in Israel to underscore the importance of working to halt violence. The Church of England's governing body blocked a move to permit women to serve as bishops, leaving the church facing more years of debate. Passage of legislation to allow women to serve as bishops must be approved by 2/3 majorities in the church. Church officials say it may take 5 years to go through the process of taking new legislation to final vote. And there are several sister churches to the Church of England that have already appointed female bishops. Amy?
Thank you, Jessica. Governor Mary Fallin announced that Oklahoma will not implement a state-run health insurance exchange under the new federal health care law. The governor's decision on Monday means the federal government will establish and run the exchange program in the Sooner State. In defending her decision, Fallin said Oklahomans had voted against Obamacare in 2010.
An Oklahoma City woman believes she has the right to change her name after she got a sex change. Stephen Charles Harvey wants to change her name to Christy Ann Harvey now that she's a woman. Oklahoma District Judge Bill Graves ruled against Harvey, saying she couldn't change her name because it's misleading. However, the Civil Appeals Court now says that it should be allowed to change her name.
And you know, Kelsey, we've had such great weather the past few days.
Exactly. John, what can you tell us about our evening forecast?
Yeah, thanks, ladies. As you mentioned, absolutely beautiful day out there. You really can't ask for a better fall day. Taking a look at our live conditions outside Gaylord Hall right now. Picture perfect day. Mostly clear skies, beautiful blue skies, 74 degrees is the temperature out there, 57% relative humidity. Look at that, calm winds right now, and the pressure is falling at this hour. Again, a great day to get out there. If you haven't been out and enjoyed today, I suggest you to get out there and do it. Around the state, pretty much a similar story, 70 statewide. Pick out your town, pick out your neighborhood here. 74 degrees in Clinton, 75 up there in Enid, 74 currently in Norman, mostly clear skies. Evening planner as we head through tonight, it's going to be cooling down quite rapidly because we have clear skies. It's going to allow for radiational cooling to take effect. And by 9 p.m., 56 degrees. Again, starry skies for tonight, and then cooling down into the lower 50s and some spots 40s by midnight. Coming up in a little bit, I'll have your complete Thanksgiving Day forecast. Plus, we'll take a look at that 5-day to make your Bedlam weekend plans. Ladies.
Thanks, John. For many of us, holiday shopping begins earlier and earlier each year. At least the opportunity to get out and catch those Black Friday deals starts sooner.
More stores are opening their doors at midnight Thanksgiving night, but some superstores don't think that's enough. Walmart and Sears will let shoppers in 4 hours earlier at 8 o'clock Thanksgiving night. So getting a head start on shopping could save you some sleep this year.
I do not want to be out till 4 in the morning waiting on, a $50 deal. I mean, that's a good deal and all, but I don't want to be out till 4 in the morning waiting in a line.
But some local retailers believe the early superstore openings have gotten out of control.
I think the big box stores have taken it way too far. I mean, people got injured that one year rushing into the stores. They're camping out at Best Buy for 4 or 5 days.
Local stores, like those on Campus Corner, say they want to step away from the crazy consumerism of the holiday season, so they will wait to open until 9 a.m. Friday morning, even though that means sacrificing profit.
It does hurt. It hurts your bottom line when that money's already being spent and then they don't have anything left to come and spend with us on Saturday.
After the Black Friday rush is over, small businesses will celebrate their own National Day.
Small Business Saturday is November 24th. It's a day for people to honor small businesses by shopping locally. Whether it's shopping Thursday in the madness of Black Friday, heading out Saturday to locally owned stores, or sitting at home to shop online, retailers are looking forward to this holiday season.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, one OU professor plays a part in an Emmy-winning series that takes her love of science to a new level.
Plus, a new Sooner football star shares his story of his transition from Penn State. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. In between grading tests and giving lectures, one OU professor plays a crucial role in the production of one of cable TV's top-rated shows. OU Nightly's John Haverfield has the story.
Jesse Pinkman, Saul Goodman, Walter White. Familiar names to fans of AMC's Emmy-winning series, Breaking Bad. But would you believe one OU chemistry professor is making her name known in the series as brains behind the science?
Yeah, I really like the show. It's awesome, and I had no idea that an OU professor had any part of it.
Producer Vince Gilligan turned to Professor Donna Nelson when he wanted all the chemistry right and accurate in the show. Now she currently is the science advisor for the series and approves the scripts, making sure each and every science-related notion is 100% true.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, science.
Vince Gilligan was saying we really want to get the science right, but we're having problems because none of our writers has a science background, and so we're having to go to Wikipedia and on the web to search to try to find scientific content for our shows. And we would really appreciate constructive advice from a scientifically knowledgeable source.
Breaking Bad follows a high school chemistry teacher and his dark turn to a life of crime as he produces and sells methamphetamines as a means to support his family.
They had emailed me and said, is there anything he would have drawn on the blackboard? And I said, well, sure. I sent out them some structures that I had drawn. And they drew that on the blackboard, and it was behind him during the entire scene. And so when I saw this was the first time I ever saw my contribution on the air. And I just felt so strange. I sat there and thought, I did this. I was responsible for getting this science correct.
Professor Nelson not only strives to get the chemistry right on screen, she's also working on several projects to get it right off screen.
And then another project, which is, again, to sort of take science to the masses, similarly to my work with Breaking Bad, is I've put together a group of all of the members of the national academies who reside in the state of Oklahoma. And we're going to have a panel discussion at a scientific meeting that's coming up next March.
Breaking Bad will finish its 5th and final season next summer.
What a great story, John. She sure does make OU proud.
Yeah, she does. I had a lot of fun with that as well. And Professor Nelson says she is open and willing to advise any other science-based shows in the future. So, pretty cool thing.
All right, John, well, you're doing double duty today,
yes,
so can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up in weather?
Yeah, great weather out there right now. We'll take a look at that live shot. Beautiful day here in Norman. How long will this weather last? I'll let you know in my forecast. That's coming up. You're watching OU Nightly. Welcome back to OU Nightly, everybody. I hope you had a chance to get out there and enjoy today's weather. It was absolutely beautiful, picture-perfect fall day around the state this afternoon. Take a look at the temperatures around Oklahoma. You can see 74 degrees. We're at it here in Norman, 76 in Lawton, 74 in Clinton, 70 statewide, mostly clear skies. Visible satellite across the area, really not a cloud in the sky. There's Norman right there. Just a few cumulus clouds off in the Louisiana area, but most of central United States is pretty much clear this afternoon. Surface map across the area, that blue H right there, that's what's making us have clear skies and beautiful weather. That's going to slide off to the east as we head closer to your Thanksgiving time. And then this low pressure system up here, it's causing a lot of heavy rain and some high mountain snow showers off in the Pacific Northwest. There's that cold front right there. That'll be dragging into our area. It'll drag what we call a short wave, our upper level disturbance into our area as we head closer to the end of the week and just in time for the latter part of your Thanksgiving evening. That'll clip us just to the north and bring with it a chance of showers and some lower temperatures. Your OU Nightly weather pick today, it's a beautiful one. It comes from Megan McAllen. This is from the football game, the Baylor game. You can see a beautiful sunset right there. It seems like we always have really nice sunsets on OU game days. We appreciate you sitting in that OU Nightly weather pick. If you have a good one, go ahead and post it to our Facebook group. Go ahead and take a look at your Thanksgiving forecast for your Thursday. It's going to be a pretty mild Thanksgiving and windy as well. By 9 a.m. as you're watching that parade, maybe going outside, throwing a catch, maybe throwing the football around, 61 degrees, mostly clear skies, and by noon, 70 degrees. Those winds will be kicking up. Pretty gusty from the southwest, about 25 miles per hour. Then a slight chance of some showers as we head to the afternoon and evening, as that cold front I just mentioned will be coming into our area right about the evening hours for your Thanksgiving, around 9 to 10, closer toward midnight for your Thanksgiving. But most of your turkey day looks pretty much clear, windy, and warm. Overnight lows for tonight in the 40s. Going to be a kind of a chilly night. Going to need a jacket, mostly clear skies. And then for your highs for tomorrow, much like what we saw today, a little bit breezier from the south, but still a very nice day for fall. 74 degrees in Norman, 76 for tomorrow and more than your 5-day forecast. Again, there's that turkey day, 72 degrees, 20% chance of some evening showers. Those will linger into your Friday. And then Friday will be pretty cooler, 59 I'm expecting for your Friday. And then Saturday, Bedlam game. It's going to be kind of chilly in the morning hours, then should warm up and be kind of mild, mostly clear skies for Saturday. And Sunday, 66. Then right beyond this 5-day, I'm expecting a pretty strong cold front that could bring us a chance for some cooler temperatures, some pretty cold temperatures.
All right, well, it seems like a very good week we've got ahead of us for weather, especially for Thanksgiving and especially for November.
Yeah, really, this is above normal temperatures and Thanksgiving weather. Really can't ask for much better weather for your turkey day.
Of course. So,
and Tim O'Donnell is standing by with sports. Tim?
Well, the men's basketball team travels to one end of the country and the women travel to the other. During this break, all of the details, plus Bedlam has arrived. Are the Sooners prepared? Find out next in sports. Stay tuned. Donald with OU Nightly Sports. Regardless of what the OU football team eats for Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday, the taste will likely not be savored. That's because the Bedlam series continues on Saturday as Oklahoma gears up for its home finale against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Last year, the Sooners were demolished in Stillwater 44-10 en route to their third straight loss, but this is a much different Sooners team. Last week, the Sooners won a shootout against West Virginia 50-49, in which Landry Jones set a school record with 554 passing yards and 6 scores. In the midst of the Bedlam chaos, it's easy to get distracted. But head coach Bob Stoops says his players know what to do and how to do it.
What really matters to my guys is practice today and the game Saturday. So how are we going to play well? Do what we do, work the process, see what happens, see where we're at Sunday. End of story.
Bedlam will be televised nationally Saturday at 2:30 on ESPN. And the men's basketball team will travel to Orlando, Florida this weekend as they take part in the Old Spice Classic tournament. The men will take on the UTEP Miners on Thursday to kick off the tournament. Then, depending on the outcome, they'll play the winner or loser of the Gonzaga-Clemson game. That second round game will be Friday. If the men go on to lose, they will play at 5:30. If they win, they will play at 7:30. All games will be televised nationally on ESPN. And the women will get to enjoy the great state of Hawaii over their holiday break as they play in the Rainbow Wahine Showdown this weekend. The women will play 3 games in 3 days, beginning with the Arkansas Razorbacks on Friday, followed by the Ducks of Oregon on Saturday, before facing the tournament host Hawaii on Sunday. One of the most exciting Sooner players in recent history wasn't even on the team's roster a month before the start of the season. But in his short stint here, Justin Brown has maximized his time in a Sooner uniform. As Matt McCulloch reports, transitions aren't easy, but this Sooner is making the best of his situation.
Norman, Oklahoma is over 1,000 miles away from State College, Pennsylvania, but now the two places seem closer than ever. Oklahoma's wide receiver and prolific punt returner Justin Brown transferred from Penn State in the wake of a devastating scandal. He moved to the middle of the country to play one more year of college football. Brown chose Oklahoma for a very specific reason.
The tradition, I kind of was familiar a little bit with Oklahoma as I was growing up and just watching, them play with all the great players they've had and the great season they've had.
Brown is now playing under Bob Stoops, who after the win against Baylor trails to only Sooner legend Barry Switzer for the most wins in school history. But Brown will never forget his former coach, the late Joe Paterno.
Joe Pye, was a man that, stood for a lot. He created, that environment up there. You can't think about Penn State, not even football, just Penn State University without thinking about Joe Paterno.
Since transferring, Brown has solidified himself as an electric punt returner and the Sooners' number 2 wide receiver.
Touchdown Oklahoma! We're real close. All his receivers actually was real close to each other. So I love Justin.
His legacy isn't sealed yet, but a BCS Bowl victory would go a long way. Matt McCulloch, OU Nightly.
Even though his last year will be as a Sooner, Justin Brown will graduate with a degree in communications from Penn State, showing his loyalty to the school that gave him so much. And today, the 2013 OU football schedule released. The first game of the year will be August 31st against Louisiana Monroe, OU Texas October 12th, and OU OSU Bedlam moved to the last week of the season, December 7th. Maybe create a little chaos towards the end of the year. If both teams win the title hunt, we'll see.
That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to next year's football season.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks.
Still ahead on OU Nightly, man's best friend is keeping Norman safe.
And we'll have another look at that 5-day right after the break. And just a quick reminder, you can always find more Oklahoma news as well as background stories and in-depth reporting at our sister organization, Roots. You can visit Roots online at roots.ou.edu. And you can also watch this newscast on demand as well as on the go. Check out ou.edu/TV for access to OU Nightly as well as other OU TV programs.
Here's one OU police officer who's a little furrier than normal. It's Caesar, OU PD's canine officer. Caesar and his partner, Greg Vollmer, work in the Hazardous Devices Unit. Caesar can detect explosives and donuts, too. He is at every OU football and basketball game, protecting students and the community. Vollmer has raised Caesar since he was 6 months old, and he says he's learned a lot from working with Caesar. And if you see the two around, stop by and say hello.
Well, what a cute little furry friend. I'd love to have him around campus. That's just a great story. So,
what a great dog.
I know. So, can you tell us a look at the 5-day?
Yeah, looking good for tomorrow. We're going to continue with kind of the same weather what we saw today, mostly clear skies, 74 degrees. Get out there and enjoy it. And for your Thanksgiving Day, for your Thursday, 72 degrees, mostly clear skies. That cold front comes through Thursday night. Friday, things are cooler, and then for your Bedlam game day, going to be 50s and 60s throughout the state, mostly clear skies. Great football weather. Sunday, warming up, 66, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We're off this week for Thanksgiving, but we'll see you back here Monday night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.